Hello and welcome to Theology on Tap. I just made a video about Peter and Judas, and on the subject of Judas, I thought I'll make another video talking about his betraying Jesus Christ for 30 pieces of silver. And with that money, obviously, well, he returned the money, threw it back into the temple because he felt bad. Judas felt bad about what he has done, and he committed suicide. But with the money, the religious people took that money and bought potter's field. And there are a couple of ways of interpreting about what has happened, but both of them I like. I'm not going to say one is true and one is not, but both of the interpretation, the way we look at it, I like both of them. And the meaning of it is very significant. Now, potter and you know, in the Old Testament sense, what it says is that God is the potter and we are the clay. And, you know, I'm sure if you've been to church that you have heard many sermons about how God is the potter. He gets to, you know, mold and make us to be a beautiful finished product. Whatever he makes the clay with, whatever the end product may be, it's going to look beautiful because God is the potter. And we're just the clay, you know, he forms us and whatnot. But as he is forming us and making us to be what he has in his mind, right? God's mind, he's got this picture of what I'm supposed to be like, and he's going to allow things to happen in life. He's going to mold me and change me and whatnot in order for me to be that perfect finished product that God already imagined in his mind. In that sense, all things are going to work out for good and whatnot. But, you know, in the sermons that I've heard, basically what he's saying is that in order for God to mold us and make us to be what we want to be, then he's going to have to, you know, use some clay, do it over sometimes, or he has to use those tools as the clay is turning around. You don't use only your hands to mold, but you also have these tools that will cut some pieces out and whatnot. So there's going to be a lot of clay or unused clays that gets becomes trash. All right. I mean, I guess the whole teaching of that basically is God will make us go through pains in life, and the whole idea about it is that the pains are necessary in order to be this great, beautiful, finished product that God had in his mind. That's wonderful and great. Now, come to New Testament about Judas, and with the 30 pieces silver, these people buy a land that was called Potter's Field. And there's two ways of looking at it. And like I said, I like both of them. I think the more popular one basically is they bought this piece of land that was what they call Potter's Field, that maybe a potter would use. It was like a quarry for the clay, where the potter would go and get the clay, the material for the clay. However, it's been depleted, so it just becomes nothing. It's just an empty lot. So these the religious leaders bought that land, and what they decided to do with the land, right, is to bury people who are strangers, who have died and who are strangers. Meaning these are people that are poor, doesn't have family members and whatnot. And I really like that image of what they call the potter's field, where God is the potter, we are the clay, and with the money, the price that was paid, like for Jesus Christ and what he has done, with that money, they buy potter's field for those who are lost, for those who are poor, for those who are, being left alive or left to die, and there's nobody to claim their body. Strangers, strangers that no one will recognize them. And when they die, they have a place to be buried, in a sense. So the way I look at it when I hear that is to think that Jesus, in his death, because with that silver, he died. He was betrayed and he was crucified. With his death, right, he brought a salvation to those who are strangers, those who are lost, those who nobody recognized, the one that are the outcasts of society, if you will. That Jesus cares for them. And I kind of like that, because to me, that's what Jesus was. He came for the lost. He came for the sick. He came for those who needed help in this world, right? For the poor, for the lost, and whatnot. And that imagery is something that is really cool. Now, another way of interpreting it is that Potter's Field was a place where all the broken pieces of potter, all the broken clays, it will be picked up and it will be thrown into that area. So it just became a trash place for a broken clay. Now, that's one of the other way of looking at it. That's why they call it a potter's field, right? And then when it was purchased, they turned that place into a place for the strangers to come and those who have died. And in that interpretation, I also like it too, because it makes it seem like all the broken pieces, all the brokenness that we go through in life, all the struggles and all the pain and the resentments and the guilt and all that negative stuff in life, right? All that stuff is mounted upon this one place, and Jesus says that I've died for these things. I'm the salvation. I'm the one who died on the cross to take care of those who are broken, the one who is going through a hard time, and that kind of imagery. And both of them is kind of same, I guess, but all of us, you don't really have to be a stranger, all right? You don't have to be a broken people. All of us have to go through some kind of times in our lives where, things just no good. It's just not good. And the more we try to fix it, the worse things get. Like the saying goes, when it rains, it pours. And, there are times when we just scream out to God or curse God, or we punch things because of the frustration and whatnot. And it kind of reminds me personally, when I hear this story, is to think about Jesus died so that for those of us who are struggling, for those of us who are broken, right? And with that imagery of potter's field, with all the brokenness, Jesus died for that. And now it's being used for those who are strangers, the one that are in need, the one that doesn't really have anybody. Christ is there for them. Salvation is so important. Salvation is not just about, going to heaven. And although we focus so much on that, I don't know why, because we need something here and now. We need salvation here and now from all the ugliness that's going on in the world, all the ugliness sometimes within our families and within our friends, within our jobs and whatnot. And Christ has come to say, I came for you. I know you're going through a hard time. I know you're sick. I'm the doctor. I'm here to help you. And I think that's great, because I think Jesus can really help and make a difference in the world. I really do. I mean, I wouldn't be a follower of Jesus Christ. I wouldn't be such a critic to the church if I didn't really believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And we should just turn to Him. That's what it reminded me of when I was making the video of Judas and Peter. So I thought I'd make a quick video about the potter's field. God bless you. Thanks for joining me again. All right, and keep coming back and share with your friends, right? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are broken, who feels alone, whatever. Instead of looking at other people, right? Because you can't find other people, Jesus could be there for you, and He could make a lot of difference. All right, God bless you. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.